It's a beautiful day, and I bid you a warm welcome to the studios of Poly TV Ilaro. Today, the 4th of February, year 2026. My name is Femi Afolabi. As usual, we want to do our newspaper review and analysis, and the Deputy Registrar, Protocols and Public Relations, FPI here, Mr. Shola Abiala, is here seated at the studio with me. You're welcome, Mr. Abiala.
Good afternoon, viewers, and Happy New Day.
Yesterday you weren't here, and we celebrated the 50th birthday or 50th founders anniversary of Ogun State. But the celebration is still on, so congratulations. I know you are of Ogun State.
I'm Ogun Bidinimi. Thank God that the baby born 50 years ago is making marks, positive marks.
Congratulations.
And we are marching forward. Congratulations to us.
Okay, congratulations, indigents and people of Ogun State. We will have more cause to celebrate.
Amen.
Let's begin our business in earnest, and we are taking our first shot today from the front page of Tribune newspaper. And Tribune says, PDP crisis, Makinde fires another shot. PDP crisis, Makinde fires another shot. Mr. Biela, both Governor Makinde of Oyo State and Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State and now the Minister of FCT, they belong to the G5, the old G5 then, before the last election. And shortly after the election, all of them went their ways. And of course, you remember that last week, a court nullified the Ibadan Convention of PDP, the factional PDP then, which Makinde belonged. And Wike is seeing himself as a successful, or the leader of the PDP now in Nigeria. So what do you make of the crisis rocking the PDP?
It's just like when Chinua Achebe of blessed memory wrote Things Fall Apart and
Center
cannot hold. Immediately things started falling apart. Definitely no center will be able to hold. Like you rightly mentioned, before they used to be good friends, but they are now strange bedfellows. But you understand that it's like Nyesom Wike is trying to bite more than he can chew. One, he is not the chairman of PDP, national chairman. And you can recall that some time ago, he has been allegedly expelled from, is it not Rivers PDP or whatever? Yeah. So if you are expelled from your base, the party in your base, and you now want to, you are still seeing yourself as the leader, if you cannot settle your home, it's now you that want to go and settle all this thing. You can only come to my table if we are friends. That is what Makinde is trying to say. I also read, was it yesterday that he said no more vagabonds in PDP. I don't want to name because he even make reference to one òwe Yorùbá tó sọ pé ilé tó bá ń tòrò pé ọmọ àlè ibẹ̀ ò tí dàgbà nìyẹn pé now that ọmọ àlè ti dàgbà tán tẹ̀dẹ̀ tí wàá lé lọ tí ò sọ ọmọ àlè mọ́ pé ilé gbọ́dọ̀ tòrò. So that is just the situation. I feel Makinde is right, because you cannot control. Ajá ò kì í rorò kó ṣọ́ ojúlé méjì. You are even not by law now. If you are not a member of a party in your state, automatically you don't belong, because it is even from the ward level that they want to recognize you. If you want to contest for national office, they will trace you to your ward level. If you've been expelled at the state level, that means the ward has already done that. Then you don't belong to anywhere.
Yeah, but there's a contention on the supposedly expulsion. There's a contention. I think Mr. Nyesom Wike went to court to challenge the expulsion, the alleged expulsion.
So, and it hasn't been ruled upon.
It hasn't been.
Then let's keep quiet over it, so that I won't be sued of contempt of court.
Okay, still talking about Nyesom Wike, the PDP, and the political development. I know there's a group of politicians, elder statesmen, and they are members of PDP. We are talking about the likes of former governor and former Senate President Saraki, and of course former President Jonathan. They were making moves, at least to reconcile all warring factions of PDP. Isn't it getting too late into the next election?
Well, it's better late than never, because let's now look at the positive side of PDP. A state without opposition, a nation without opposition, tends towards one state party, and then whatever such party does holds. But if there is, I think the major intention, it's unfortunate that PDP allows themselves to be manipulated out. It is the current government's intention was that it is only when your house is settled that you can begin to meddle into the affairs of the nation. Now that the PDP, in all reality, PDP is the second most strongest party in Nigeria, as at the last election, because it won more than seats after APC. So the situation, they should intensify efforts, because if that is not the situation, if they are unable to do it, then there will be a problem. But it's not too late. It's better late than never.
Never. We are still talking politics, and I want to go straight to the front page of the Nation's Eyes newspaper. Nation's Eyes newspaper, saying Tinubu tells Wike, stop meddling in Rivers politics. Tinubu tells Wike, stop meddling in Rivers politics. Mr. Yosin Wike has been engulfed in crisis for quite a long period of time now. It is either you hear him fighting an opposition there or fighting somebody there. Everywhere you talk about Mr. Wike. In a couple of past weeks, weeks in the past, you heard him in championing the removal of Governor Fubara. Through the impeachment process by the House of Assembly of that particular state. And people are saying Mr. Wike is being used to disrupt PDP, as it were, and of course foment troubles here and there. Now we have the president now saying he should stop meddling.
Yes, because you know, the Rivers State of Wike's time, even of a few weeks ago, it's not the Rivers State now. Another political party is in charge in Rivers State. And by following the words of the president, he said the state governor is the leader of the political party in the state. Now, Wike is not in APC. Supposedly not in or either in or out of PDP. We don't know. Now, why should he now be meddling with I think the president is now owing up, because, you know, they are telling us before that the appointment of Wike was to disrupt the PDP in Rivers State, to weaken the PDP in Rivers State, generally too. Now, the PDP is in disarray in Rivers State. Wike, Fubara, is not in PDP. Wike is not in APC. So why should he be? He didn't say he should not meddle with PDP. He said in Rivers State politics. So because of the argument, because of the misunderstanding between Wike and Fubara has cross-carpeted. So Wike should, if he wants to do anything politically in Rivers State, should be within the state level of the PDP, not in the general politics of the state. He should. I think the president is owing up to his responsibility. He has the overall power to tell spade to be a spade. So he should stop it. I support that. Wike should stop it. Yes.
But it's on record that prior to the election that brought in Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu, there was a group, a political group formed in Rivers State then. They call it Coalition, Rainbow Coalition.
Rainbow Coalition.
factored by this same Nyesom Wike. We are in all other political parties, both PDP and of course the APC there. They worked to make the president, to wait for Mr. President to win the election. So, and the coalition, the Rainbow Coalition is still in existence in Rivers State. So Wike is claiming that as the leader of that Rainbow Coalition, which encompasses both APC, PDP, and other political parties, he still have every right to be the leader.
How do you explain this analysis? A whole orange and a broken orange, the orange that is cut into pieces. Will the orange that has been cut into pieces, that you've taken your own, and he has taken his own, I've taken my own, can we still call that one a whole orange? The rainbow has lost its color because then APC, PDP, everybody, they belong to it. That is what makes it rainbow. APC has gone with its yellow. PDP is scattered. Others are not there. So you cannot be a leader of a non-existing group. So that is just the simple fact.
Okay, from there we move to the Nation's newspaper. This time around we'll be talking economy. World Bank, Nigeria now global reference. World Bank, Nigeria now global reference. A delegation of the World Bank is presently in Nigeria meeting with Mr. President to understudy or to see the various reforms by the federal government and how they are impacting the lives of the people. So the federal government is saying, yes, Nigeria is now a global reference of good economic reforms.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yes, I think it's a good one. It's not even just now, because during this talks, the representatives, maybe the leader, said that Nigerian economic policy has been a reference point in the past 2 years. That is to tell us that President Tinubu's policy, no matter how harsh it is, it's working. The problem with the citizens is that until when a policy translates to tea, bread, and sugar on the table, they don't see it as working. But naturally, Yorubas will say, "Pé ó ń ta mí, ó ń ro mí, la fi ń kọlà." It is when the mark begins to heal and the beauty will begin to show. However, I want to sound a caution notice. Àṣà ń bẹ́yẹlé ṣeré, ẹyẹlé ń yọ̀. If we should be mindful of the fact that when these global bodies, when they begin to poke nose into the activities of a particular state, something is coming. They want to come and, like somebody jokingly said in the studio this morning, that they wanted to study us and know where to hit us now. Because, and we should be careful tabling every of our things before them. I don't want to say more than that. But Tinubu's economic policy, from my own layman perspective, is working. And that is why it's becoming a reference.
That's a good one. We move forward to the front page of Punch newspaper. This borders on economy too. Electricity subsidy, federal government to deduct 3.6 trillion naira from federation account. Electricity subsidy, federal government to deduct 3.6 trillion naira from federation account. Yesterday, there was a news report that the federal government is proposing that it will no longer be the solely responsible for the payment of electricity subsidy. So states and local government will be brought into it. And this morning we are hearing that already 3.6 trillion naira is going to be away from the federation account to settle electricity subsidy of MDAs and for other federal agencies.
Yeah. There is this school in Igbogila, I think Igbogila High School, said duty and responsibility or whatever. Something that if you want this, you should be able to do this. And you remember when the local government, they are clamoring for autonomy. Once you are autonomous, it means you want to begin to run your affairs without interference. Federal government accepted it, and whether it has been, it started implementing it, that the local government allocations will be paid directly to the local government. State 2 also have its allocation. Why will I build a house? It belongs to me. I build it in Oyo State. I'm the federal government now. I build my house in Oyo State. Oyo State now has its branches in some other local government, and people are staying there, and they are paying rent to Oyo, and then why should I be the one responsible to be paying their electricity bills? The allocations they are clamoring for, it is inclusive of every expenses. Now you have collected the allocations. You want to be paying it, doing everything by yourself, and you are still expecting them to be paying it's like I want to pack out of my father's house. That I don't want to live there again. I want to go and rent my house. And I rent the house, and I said this Baba should still be paying for my rent. So the thing is that he who pays the piper should dictate the tune. That's something, although it belongs to the federal government, but it is working for a particular state. And they say it's not, the federal government is not saying that it will not be paying part of it. It said it wouldn't be fully responsible for it.
But your argument, some people will counter your argument, because let's take an agency as an example. Okay. Let's say NOA, National Orientation Agency, is an agency of the federal government. Of course, it has the federal government has branches of NOA throughout Nigeria.
Yes.
Accommodation and payment of staff is exclusively for federal government. Now, what federal government is now proposing is that if NOA is Ogun State, for instance, and that body is serving the people of Ogun State should be responsible for payment of whatever subsidy the federal government is showing that.
I'm expecting people to counter this thing, because we cannot all sleep in one thing and put our heads in the same direction. But we should see it from individual perspectives. Okay. Who is using this? Though they are working for the federal government, but it is who is federal government an entity? Is it not an amalgamation of all states? Would there be federal government if there are no states? Would there be states if there are no local government?
All right. I'm going back to the front page of a Tribune newspaper. There's a minor report on the masthead saying Senate proposes new revenue formula to favor federal government. Already in the existing allocation sharing formula, the federal government is earning much. Yes. But there's this motion on the floor of the National Assembly that allocation should be upwardly reviewed, because federal government is shouldering more responsibilities in the face of the current realities.
It boils down to what we said last. He who must go to equity must go with clean hands. If actually federal government is bearing much or higher burdens, then the allocation should be reviewed forward. Why do you want me to be earning less and then be paying more? Why is it, if it is true, that the claim that the federal government is now shouldering higher responsibilities, then they should make it plain and let us see so that we'll be able to know whether it should be reviewed.
A school of thought believed otherwise. They believe that the states and local government, the subnational, should earn more because the responsibilities should be decentralized further, so that you make the federal, when the central, less powerful. The central might be shouldering defense and internal security, while the state should do more than.
We've had in the past when people complain about bad roads, they'll be saying this is a federal road, this is a Kenikon road. If a federal road is in my state, whose responsibility is it to maintain that federal road? If it is my responsibility as the user of that road, then the allocation should increase, because I'm helping federal government to carry out its responsibility. But if I am the one, we call it, I don't want to mention a particular so it's federal road. This one is they say local government will Ogun State government come and repair the road that enter Itawaya from Itolu. So it is a local government responsibility. So if the local government is doing all those things, then the allocation that goes to local government. But if it is still the state that is doing it for that local government, owó tó yẹ kán máa fi ṣe yẹn kán máa kí state má fún wọn. So if I'm not saying it is true, but if the federal government is able to table this thing, after all, it is all these states that make up the federal government. I'm still saying it. So it depends on whatever they put on the table. If we see the content of their so-called, because padding of this can happen. You can paddle this, you can pad this, you can pad that. But if we are able to see that what they actually do, then if I'm doing more, I should be paid more.
All right, I'm still with the Tribune newspaper on its front page, and there's another minor story, which says guessing game continues as Senate fails to pass Electoral Act as third promise.
If not, I'm on TV. I will have told you that I don't want to speak on that, because remember I said the other time, you give me a yam, I'm responsible for the yam. You now want me to pass a law that will reduce the size of yam that will be given to me. Electoral Act is responsible for whosoever is occupying whatever position. If you are now telling us to review it, not in favor of the people that are to review it, you think they will do it? If they give you something that this thing is yours, but from tomorrow it will no longer be yours, so should now legislate on how we are going to be sharing it. It's either you don't do anything, or you do it to your own distance.
Well, whether they like it or not, we should have an electoral law that will midwife the next election.
That is what we are saying. These people are not willing to do it because they know that it will affect them. Almost all of them now are working towards the second this thing. If that one has no tenure, you can be there for how many terms? Some people have been there for 3-4 terms. So if you now do something, how can you now begin to ida omba okoje inu idandun ko mo pe ile ohun lohun baje? They are deliberately not doing anything about it, because they know ordinarily it ought to be done.
Every atrocity must be judged, and we have to live in an environment that is fair, that is just, and that is accountable, so that Nigeria will know the peace and progress that we are all yearning for. I want to thank you sincerely for finding time to be here again.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you too. It's a pleasure.
My name is Femi Afolabi. I will be leaving you with that suggestion by Mr. Shola Abiala. We will be back tomorrow with another Fred edition. Thank you.